Hey, I'm Kevin. I like to talk about queer stuff and Jesus, and today we're answering your questions from the internet with another episode of Decent Advice. I'm gonna grab my coffee real quick, hold on. That's better, isn't it? Today we've got questions from both Instagram and from the hotline, and if you ever want to either text or leave a voicemail on the hotline, you can do that at 404-507-2625. Again, that's 404-507-2625. Okay, this first question comes from Lorea. How do you respond to people who go out of their way to be homophobic towards you? Well, I will say that I have a certain amount of privilege because I live in a city where people aren't outright homophobic towards me. A lot of the crap I get is just on the internet, which I think is where a lot of us tend to find our harassment these days, whether or not we ask for it or are open about it. How do I respond to people? I don't. There's one of two ways to respond to people who are outright homophobic to you. One, cuss them out, just let them know. But also, are you safe to do that? Is this person bigger than you? Are you in public? There's a lot of things to consider. If it's online, I'm with Jess Cast in the ministry of blocking and muting, because I just don't have time. I don't have time to walk people through the reasons why they're being inhumane. My goal is to help people stay alive. My goal is to help queer people move forward. So either, middle fingers up, hold them hands high. That's what I say you should do, because at the end of the day, that person's not worth your time, energy, or opinion, because they need Jesus, and you can't fix them. Someone else in their life is gonna fix them, but it's not your job, honey. Next, do you think people with disabilities are a blessing from God? Absolutely. If you haven't already read The Disabled God. It gives incredible visions of what disabled theology can look like, and what does it mean to be in a different kind of body. I think that people with disabilities, whether it's cognitive or physical, teach me more about what it is to be a follower of Christ, period. They are a blessing from God. There's nothing wrong with disabled people. They just, their lives look different than mine. And that's a beautiful thing. Speaking of, if you are a disabled person out there and you're Christian, you want to talk to me on my podcast about that, that's actually a series I want to do on a tiny revolution coming up. So leave a comment below if that's you. I would love to connect with you. Because I don't know how to put this. I identify as omnisexual, so I'm attracted to any gender, but does that make me seem more promiscuous or something? I feel very confused. Just first of all, great job on you on finding a word that really fits. Omnisexual, I don't know if I've actually heard anybody identify that way. No, it doesn't make you more promiscuous than it does me or anybody else. And what's wrong? People say promiscuous it's this negative connotation, you're someone who's just slutting it up all the time. And my question is, what is wrong with having a healthy sexual life that is empowered and that I can feel good about? So no, it doesn't make you more promiscuous. It makes you human. And if other people think that you're more promiscuous because you're attracted to more than one gender, fuck them. I mean, really what it comes down to is do you feel okay with it? Do you feel good about how you're expressing your sexuality and gender? Great. Are the people that you're involved with feeling good about the way you're interacting with them? Sick. Where ongoing and enthusiastic consent are present, there the Lord is also, in my opinion. That's the book of second opinions. This one comes also from the hotline. Queer Christian community is very small, and I recently had an intense connection with someone. There was a lot of ways in which we brought joy into each other, but we both had a lot of scars, and so now we're not talking. I feel very alone in my grief, almost like I'm burdening my friends with wanting to talk about someone I love. A lot of my friends know and love both of us and respond as oh, we're just giving you space, but I don't know if I buy into it. Their discomfort with my grief makes me feel more uncomfortable with my own grief, isolated from my community. Am I crazy for wishing that we weren't so individualistic about our relationship? Absolutely not. Breakups are hard, period, especially within the queer community especially within queer Christian community, because our circles are very small and we tend to know each other, and sometimes things get a lot messy, right? But I don't think it's wrong for wanting to be able to air your grief. I think that is a comment on how we don't train ourselves or don't allow ourselves to just hold space for someone without trying to fix them. Because I know for me, when I have something hard, I'm not really looking for advice. I'm just looking for someone to hold space for me. When I am grieving, I whatever kind of grief it is, whether it's a breakup, the loss of a loved one, we don't really want people to fix us. We just want people to hold space for us, right? If it's a matter of friends feeling weird because they're also friends with your former partner, maybe find someone who wasn't connected with your former partner whom you can process these things with, because sometimes it's not a matter of friends just being individualistic or not wanting to hold space for your grief. Sometimes it's weird for them because if they have a shared relationship with your former partner and are still trying to maintain a friendship, maybe hearing about the ways in which this person hurts you on an individual level might color their way of looking at it. I think people like myself, I'm able to hear all sorts of things about all sorts of people and still not pass judgment because that's their beef, not mine, or their issues, not mine. So really, it comes with like a shift in mindset, I think, for all of us across the board, that we need to hold space for our friends who are grieving, whatever kind of grief it is. So I'm sorry that you're going through that. It sounds really, really hard, and you're not crazy for wishing that you had someone to share it with. So know that I'm holding space for you, loved one. Let's answer one more question from Instagram, and then we're gonna be on our merry way because I gotta get to class. How do you come out when you know it won't go well, but you need to? Find your people before coming out. I think this is a huge thing. So many folks, like when they come out or are forced to come out, they don't have people around them, or even people in digital spaces. Connect with people across Twitter and Instagram. Find people within your community if you can, at least one person who's maybe close to you who can be your safe space. But don't just come out to your family or to your friends or to your workplace if you know it's gonna be a negative space and you don't have anywhere to land, because that can feel really isolating and can be really harmful for your mental health. So my advice to you with that is, before you come out to your family or whoever it's going to be hard to come out to, find your support system ahead of time. People who love you for who you are, not in spite of you, who you are, who are not gonna say, well, the Bible says X, Y, and Z. No, find your space, find your center, and don't allow anyone to shake that. And then brave the storm. And remember, there's no timeline on this. You don't have to come out today. You don't gotta come out tomorrow. You ain't gotta come out before you feel safe. So just know that there's no timeline on it. So don't feel like you have to come out. Like if your body is saying it's time for us to tell the truth, absolutely step bravely into that and know that you are beloved and like so courageous for that. But also remember, like, there's no rush on it. Like, just because your coming out story does not have to look like mine or your friends or anyone else you see on the internet. It can be slow, it can be quiet, it can be loud, it can be whatever you need it to be. So just take your time, make sure you're safe, and love yourself really well through it. Okay, that's all the time I have for questions this week. Thank you so much for sending them in. As per usual, go ahead and leave a comment below, maybe some questions you have for next Decent Advice, which will come out next week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll have another video out on Saturday about the first time I had sex, so stay tuned. Additionally, by the way, Innovative Love Coalition, the project I'm working on for our first worship album called God Our Ally, is live. You can listen to the single on the last video, or you can just go ahead and click the button below and check out the Kickstarter. Back it, download the single, share it with your friends. It's gonna be a really great time. So thanks so much for listening. My name is Kevin, and yeah, bye.